Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Decoding Dating. My name is Adam Melnyk, leadership coach and owner of the Seat in the Lead, and I'm joined with my co-host.
Hi everyone, my name is Evelyn and I'm a matchmaker and the founder of Love Circle. I'm so glad to be here with you guys.
Oh my God, I got a doozy for you. So we are going to talk about dating stories
Oh,
and what to do when your dating goes wrong. This came up because I was listening to a friend talk about how they had a dating horror story of their own, and I remember my own personal one, which was I met a girl on Bumble.
mhm.
She seemed very lovely. She seemed very kind. And we were texting nonstop. And it got to the point of, hey, I would love to take this woman out. And I said, hey, let's go to this restaurant. We'll go for a meal. It'll be lovely, and we can get to know each other face to face. I met her, and holy crap, was it the wrong date for me.
Mm.
She was racking up the bill like nobody's business. It was all about her, talking about how amazing she was. She was very judgmental of me. She was inquiring into my educational status. When I said my educational level, she's like, you're only that? I was like, what do you mean only? I'm highly educated. What? Digging into my finances, how often I take vacations, where I take vacations, and how I get to work, what car I drive. And it got to the point I was like, oh my, I think I have just spent $200 on a date that I don't want to be on.
Oh
And I
yeah.
left with the sourest taste in my mouth.
Yeah. Oh, that's so crazy. It's so crazy. Like a lot you on the first date, she's trying to find out so much about you. It's like she has an agenda. Like this. It's crazy. Oh, so sorry about that.
No, that's what it felt like. It felt like this job interview where it's like, all right,
Yeah.
I need a man that makes six figures. I need a
Mm.
I need a man that makes six figures. I need a man that has his own car. I need a man who has his own place. And that's what she was vetting for. She was asking all these questions to try to figure that out. I'm sitting there going, I was just here for a good time. I just want to get to know you. And
Yeah.
now I feel interrogated.
Yeah, I think it's so crazy that a lot of people are so superficial. Like they don't even want to know the depth of you. Like ask questions. I feel like people get the first date wrong. Like, what are the kind of questions to ask? Like, you're not asking about their family history. You're basically trying to see if they are like they have good energy, they have good vibe. You want to, just those simple questions, just to get to know you. Then you can now progress to, like, the second date and talk about. Okay, there's this one that I will tell you. So I think, so back home in Nigeria, we used to do they call this, we have this network called MTN. Is it MTN or Globacom? So it's Globacom. So they usually do like all these night calls for free. So they allow you to make night calls. So the difference between their network system is you have to put credit on your phone to be able to make calls. So they allow you to make calls for free at night. And there was this one where they will connect you with random people and you talk, get to know them. And there was this particular guy. He sounded very good. We kind of just vibed from the beginning. But the thing is, he lied. He lied a lot on the call. So he said, we talked because we can't see you. We couldn't do video calls. So it was more like, describe yourself. It was like, oh, is this tall, this, that, is that. And then we plan to see each other. So actually, he came from a far place to see me at school. And he told me, okay, I'm wearing a red shirt. And I'm like, okay, I'm wearing a blue shirt to a top, whatever. I saw him. In a way, I think it's crazy. I was young, I was very young. So, you make it, it's, but the thing is this, like, I do respect people. And I feel like, for the fact that you're talking to me, you're someone else's son, you're someone else's brother. So I respect people. But what I do not like was the fact that he lied. So when I saw him, what I saw, I didn't really judge him based on, oh, he's shorter than than he said or whatever. I was just disappointed because he lied, basically. And I felt like, so I told him, I said, listen, the guy that I was talking on the phone is different from the person I'm seeing in front of me. And I do not, and what you're saying in front of you is exactly what I described. So he was impressed with what he saw because I did basically did not lie. I said exactly, it was like, wow, you look more beautiful in person. I say, yeah, you look handsome too, but you lied about a lot of things about you, right?
You're not what you were
Oh, well,
advertising.
exactly. So for me, but what I said is because it came from a very far place, we still went out. We had a good time. We talked, and I saw saw him off to his car. And I was like, "Have a great day." So I think we continued to be friends, but we could not go beyond that because you lied, and that happens a lot, right?
Oh my god, it happens way too often. Again, I remember being on Tinder and I saw this girl. She was gorgeous. She's thin, she has blonde hair, she's a runner, she weight lifts, she does marathons, she's a cowgirl, she rides horses. It's like, oh my god, this might be my woman. We start talking, we start really hitting it off. I was like, oh, I've never had a connection like this. We agreed to meet up at a cat cafe. I go to the cat cafe. I sit down. I say, "Hey, I'm wearing a red shirt and a black cardigan. I'm just sitting over here." She says, "Okay, I'll be there in a minute." She comes in. To this day, I don't know who I sat down with. This woman that I met does not do marathons. She does not weight lift. She didn't even have blonde hair. She had very black hair. And I remember sitting there going, is there a random stranger sitting with me? Did my date walk in, see me with another woman, and go, "I'm out"?
Right?
Like,
Maybe we
this
were
man
the wrong person.
exactly. And, like, it was so jarring because 'cause I'm just like, "You are not the same person your profile picture says you are." And after that, like, I just ghosted her. I was like, "I can't do this."
Did you ask like why are you so different from the pictures and all that is in? Did you ask or you just went with it?
No, because I try to be a gentleman about
Mm,
these things. So I say, in the back of my head, I go, oh, something's going on here. Maybe self confidence wise, maybe mental health wise, that she feels like she has to portray herself as something that she's not.
mm,
Uh, and it's not my job to make her feel uncomfortable. So we're just going to go on a good date together.
mhm,
And then I'm just going to call it at that.
mhm.
Because I always feel like if I call them out, I would embarrass them. And maybe that's a me thing.
Yeah, yeah. Because I've seen I know maybe that was our old picture. Because I saw a guy that he went on vacation and fell in love with this girl. Like I saw the clip of the video, very beautiful, like beautiful, very fit and all. So he fell in love with her, decided dating, and after a while they had like two kids, and she changed, and you would not believe that she was that same person before. Like it was so different. So you'll be shocked that it could be the same person. She could change her hair, but it could be when she was younger. And maybe she's tried to put herself now. And she hasn't gotten much date, and she thought maybe she can spin it and see what happens. But it's unfortunate that some people have to do that just to get on date.
Well, I'm always a fan of just being yourself,
Yeah.
especially if you're going to go on online dating. Because again, if you're portraying yourself as something you're not, and then you get in front of your potential partner and they go, oh, oh, wow, it's almost guaranteed that they're just going to walk.
Yeah,
I've
it's true.
I've never heard of a story where somebody catfished the other person and it succeeded. I don't know. Have you heard one?
I don't know. Only if you're better than the picture, the catfish, you know, you have to be better than it. But I feel like the foundation already is built on lies. And I feel if you are someone like that, I will find it hard to trust you because I'm like, what else are you lying about? Right. And I think we need to learn to be ourselves because the right person would like you. And I think that's the point of online dating to some point. Like, this is who I am. And you can basically choose, right? And I don't see why you want to lie, or it's just sometimes insecurity is a crazy thing. And it happens a lot actually. A lot of people lie about their identity too, right? They are this, they are that, and then you date them, you see that they don't even make that much, or they don't. They lie about their character, they lie about their family background, and they just lie. So it's crazy, yeah.
Well, and it's not a way to build a relationship. If you're
No.
lying at day one, like,
Mm-hmm.
you're not going to have successful long-term relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Amusingly, I used to know a guy, he wore a wedding ring. And what I've noticed, and many other men have noticed, is when a man wears a wedding ring, girls find him more attractive and will start talking to him. It's very weird. It's very awkward. And so what he would do is he'd go to the bar and he'd wear a wedding ring and he'd find the girls that were interested in that type of man who would hit on him. And then he would take him out for a one night stand and then break the news. Oh, actually, I'm single. And it never worked out on many reasons. Because one, he's targeting women that are interested in a man who's already taken. And then he is lying to begin with. Very predatory. I'm like, well, you know what? You do you, man. Mm.
And I think it also says a lot about those women. Like, I don't see why, as a woman, you would leave the single guys and want to go out with the married people, married guy. I don't see it. It shows a lot of, it tells me a lot about your self-esteem to some point. Like, do you think you don't deserve someone that will be exclusive to you? You know, do you, why do you want to break someone's home? Like, I don't understand. So it says a lot about him and whoever girl actually, they deserve each other basically.
Exactly, because he's 50% of the problem. Like, honestly, what he should be doing, he shouldn't be doing. But at the same time, he is advertising himself as a married man, and
Mm,
the women are still going after him. So it's like, okay, you're 50% of the problem on this one.
yeah. Is an irresponsible married man. That's what
Right.
it's right. So there are situations where people go on date and it goes wrong. So what do you think people should do when they find themselves in this kind of situation? Maybe, we talked about different examples, right? Different stories. What do you think?
I think it depends how bad it is. And so with my situation, when I was out with this girl and she starts racking up a tab. So I've always been of the belief that on the first date, the man should pay. I should
Mhm,
pay.
mhm.
Absolutely. However, the woman has to be conscious that I'm going to be paying and
Yeah.
not intentionally racking up a $300 to $400 bill
Mhm.
so on my tab, because that's you're just looking for a handout at that point. This isn't getting to know each other. This isn't me being a gentleman. This is you just taking advantage of me.
Yeah.
I think if it's egregious, you just have to put a big stop to it and say, and be polite, be courteous, and say, "You're very lovely. I think this is a lovely date. Unfortunately, this is not for me."
Mm,
And just walk away. It's I know it sounds scary, and I've met some people that when you say that, they explode at you. But
mhm.
again, this is the first date, and if they're gonna yell and scream at you, especially if you're gonna put up a boundary, I don't know. It's better to catch this early than to get into a relationship with them when they can do some real damage.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I agree with you. I think that's a way to say it. Like, okay, I'm not feeling you, or please. Okay, so the thing about the bill thing, where people tend to take advantage of you paying for their meal, and they just keep asking for different meal. I feel like, one, I don't think those people like you to start with. Like, if you go on a day, are you hungry? Are you hungry? Like, are you so greedy? Like, why were you going on a date with a man and you're acting like you've not eaten like in days? Like, that shows, that's a big red flag, I would say. That shows that you're not considerate. That shows that you're very wasteful. Because I don't see why. I don't think you can even finish, you know, or you're just trying to be. It's just like some people would not buy some things for themselves, but they would not mind using someone else's money to buy it. Right? I remember back home in Nigeria, there was a situation where there were some guys. So we have like exotic like restaurants, lovely restaurants, and then we have like roads, like smaller roadside shops, where they sell food and stuff. And there were these guys, they were expecting these girls to come. Like, she's like, bring your friends. I have my friends here, that kind of thing. And they called the girls and said, "Hey, where are you? Are you not here yet?" And the girls were like, "No, I just we stopped at a fancy restaurant. The guys should meet them there. And the guys were like, listen, no, we are at a local restaurant here. Meet us there, So it's so crazy because the guy is the one asking you out on a date. And I think one thing you could ask is, oh, where are we going? And if it's something that if you're some people are high standard, because maybe for you, you can't actually go to a local restaurant. So you want to know where it's taking you to. Ask him. And if it's not comfortable with you, let him know, oh, I don't visit restaurants like that because I'm very conscious of the type of food, cleanliness, and all that I hate. So I do not like to take myself to those kind of places. So I'm sorry, I'm going to decline. And it's going to say, okay. And maybe it could adjust and say, okay, you know what? Fine. So I felt bad for those girls, but also I felt like, listen, they also invite you on to a restaurant to eat. You, the best thing you could do is ask,
Yeah.
or the best thing, decline, or at least go first. And if you're not comfortable with it, say thank you. And
Well, exactly. Just ask. Oh, where are we going? Oh, we're
yeah,
going to Swiss Chalet. I'm sorry, I'm not comfortable eating there. I'd like a place a little bit more high class, or just put it in a bit more of a delicate way. Don't say, "Oh, I don't eat at those restaurants. I have higher standards." Oh no, that's a great way to burn your first date to the ground.
right, right.
But if you just ease into it, like, why not?
Yeah. Okay. So I hear this a lot. A lot of people saying first dates. Like, a lot of girls feel like a guy should be very intentional about their first date. And they kind of feel, some girls see it as red flags when the guy asks them to go for like a cafe type of date. They feel like, out of respect, you should take them to something more worldly, like, a nice restaurant, a nice meal. They feel like a guy that will take you to a cafe one is so cheap. What do you think about that?
If I don't know you, I'm taking you to a cafe straight up. I think if I know you as an individual, and I kind of have a good grasp of your character, I don't mind spending money on you. Yeah, let's go out and eat a fancy dinner. But I think a lot of guys get stuck in a trap when it comes to dating, where if they're going out to date and they're paying for the date, the average date will cost somewhere in the neighborhood of $100 to $200. If you go on one date a week, let's say at the cost of $200, within 2 weeks, that's $400. By the end of the month, you're out $800. That's just on dating. That's the first date. We're excluding second dates here. We're excluding any gifts that he may purchase. And it can get rather pricey. I remember when I was really neck deep in online dating, I think I totaled it out. I think I spent a little over 1,600 over the course of 2 or 3 months. And I'm sitting there going, "This is cutting into my budget." Like, I have to budget dating,
Yeah,
and it
you.
was hard. Yeah, and it was so heartbreaking because I was sitting there going, "So I spent $200 on this woman to get to know her, only to find out it was a job interview, and
Mm,
she didn't like me." And I said, "This is a waste of my money, and it's a waste of my time. So how do I make it worth my time and protect my money until I know who she is?"
okay, I could see that. Yeah, I could see that. And I think also, I've seen a lot of women also say that they would prefer to also split the bill, because so that it is not, hard feelings if it's not what they expected. So they feel like, because I've seen a lot of videos even on TikTok where a guy would go on a date with this girl, and his expectation is, I'm going to spend this much money on you, at least you should go to my house.
Yeah.
But that's crazy. Like, and I'm like, and that is why I think it's always important for us ladies to have your money. And for me, I'm someone like, be able to afford those, like, I feel be able to afford those kind of places. Like, if it takes you to, like, the keg or Swiss chalet or whatever, be able to afford, like, I don't see why I can't afford that. But before you go out to a restaurant or a date, make sure you have money in your wallet. Make sure you have money in your bank. So because you could meet some crazy people that will expect you because they spent $100 on a meal that you should go to their house and finish, and they get back somehow the money from you somehow. I think that's crazy, but that happens a lot actually.
Oh, it happens all the time. And I think it's an issue of the more money the man spends on the woman, the more he expects something in return, which gets into this weird thing of, are we on a date or is
Mm,
this a transaction?
mm.
Am Are you spending money on me so I have to perform for you? Or are we getting to know each other to get to know each other? And so, in a weird way, I know coffee dates are bad. I know people don't like them. However, all you're owed there is just to get to know each other. If a man spends $2,000 to $3,000 on you, I can almost guarantee he's going to expect something from you, if especially if it's a first date.
But like, how would you even spend up to that amount? Like, these are people that only spend like $60 on your meal. Because I feel like most of those kind of guys that ask for those things are mainly the cheap ones, to be frank with you. Even with the little they spend, they still expect something back in return. It's always mostly the poor ones. Because I think for a lady, even if a guy spends like 3K, she won't like, okay, it's worth, some point. But how much is $60, right? So I think that we're like, please have your money as well. And if that's something doesn't work out, if it doesn't show up on the date, then you can always live with dignity, pay for your meal. And but there are cases where a guy would ask a girl out on a date, she would eat, he would eat, and he would just go to the washroom and never returns. Those things happen. There are crazy people out there. So regardless of the outcome, one thing, have your money. So if it doesn't work out,
But I love that because one of the hard feelings that I've often experienced is when I spend a lot of money on somebody and it doesn't work out, and then they are kind of harsh, or I feel like they're harsh towards me, and I sit there and I go, yeah, but you kind of owe me something because again I spent a shit ton of money on you. But then if it doesn't work out on the first date and you're like, you know what, let's just split the bill, I don't feel put out because I didn't have to pay for anything from you. Like, you don't owe me anything, in a weird way. Does that make
okay.
sense?
Okay, okay, let me get to. Okay, so you're saying that if you go on a date with someone and it did not really work out the way you expected, you could ask to split the bill.
Yeah, if it doesn't work out, just split the bill.
Okay.
Because I think it does leave a lingering feel of resentment. If you guys are not jiving and then he still pays, and then he kind of comes home and he goes, yeah, but like she owes me. Like, look at what I did for her."
Okay.
Even though they're not supposed to feel that way, I think they still do.
Yeah, I think that's crazy. Like if I go on a date with you, like if you ask me on a date,
Mhm.
I think the expectation would be that you pay.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's always very good that you have your money with you because things can happen, right? If it happens that it says, "Oh, let's split the bill," at least I'm still prepared, regardless, to still, but it would be shameful if you're like arguing there and say, "No, I'm not splitting the bill. It's not your money anyway." That's entitlement at some point, right? But as a gentleman, I feel like dating is lost. The risk is high, right? You could like the person and you might not like the person. They might be very beautiful and but character wise they may not align with you. So like is a loss. And I think even from the woman's side too, when the woman asks you out on a date, I feel like she's the one asking you at some point, like, she might want to be the one to cover the bill because he didn't ask you, you asked. But a gentleman will still feel like, you know what, I pay, I'm the man. Don't worry, I
I
pay.
think I think dating etiquette is this. If I ask you out on a date, we are going to go on a date. I will pay for the bill.
Yeah.
You must offer to pay for the bill, or at least go halfsies. And just the blanket offer. What I, as a gentleman, will say, no, you will not pay for the bill. I will pay for it all. But I think the act of just me saying, or you saying, hey, let me pitch some money for it, or let me get it, is it's nice because as a man, you don't feel like you're being taken advantage of. It feels like, oh, this woman actually cares about me and wanted to get to know me as a person, and they didn't just want me for my money.
Mm, interesting. I think mine is like if you go on a date, if you ask me out on a date, you know to pay, right? I'm not even gonna say, let me pay. I won't say that. I feel like you pay. And if you say, oh, can I cover my, I'm gonna, because the waiter will always ask, should I bring one bill or two bill? If I hear him say two bills, I'll be like, okay, I won't question that. I won't ask any question. I won't act anyway. I'll pay for my stuff. And I know that that is the end of the date. But if he offers to say, if he says one bill, I'll be like, okay. I'm not gonna say no, no. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. Also, I think also that's the thing about when you go on a date, a guy and a girl. Let him. I let him. You let him talk. Let him. You know, some guys are gentle guys. They'll be like, they will ask you before the waiter comes and say, okay, what do you want? And you'll be like, okay, I want egg and blah blah blah. And then he will be the one to off ask, say, okay, I want this, and she wants so and so. So you kind of relax and chill. So different people, some men will just say, okay, they will say their own and let you talk. It's also a form of respect, doesn't really matter. But then regardless, so the best thing is when he's trying to pay, if the waiter asks one bill or two and it says one, I would say, ladies, just be okay and just chill and relax and act like a soft girl. But if she says two bills, say okay, don't argue, be okay and get your wallet and be ready to pay. And then your decision from there is on you. You can choose to continue or not.
Well, I love that. If there's two bills, don't argue. Because again, if you're going to argue, I'm sorry, the relationship's done anyways. Like, thanks for coming out. Do not pass go. Although I will kind of add on. So there's been times I've gone out on dates and I'll ask for one bill. And the woman says, "Are you sure? Is that okay?" I'm like, "Yes, don't worry about it." And again, even like again, it's the gesture. I think it's the gesture of, "Hey, you know what? Are you sure? Like, I can do this myself." And that again, it makes me feel like, oh, she's here just to get to know me as an individual. Again, it's not about my money. That's how I feel about the situation.
Well, you
I
know
just want the gesture. That's all I want. I don't want you to pay. I just want you to pretend like you want to.
right? And you know what? I feel like I've seen situations where I've gone out with, and I offer to maybe they needed change. The person doesn't have change. I offer to pay. Doesn't matter. But the thing is, I feel like I've seen. Okay, I was okay because I do single events as well, and I was at one of my single events, and some ladies were saying things like, this first date thing, and they were like, you know what? I feel like it's so unfair for the guy to pay for my bill on the first day, and because and I'm like, girl, chill. Let someone take care of you. Over independence is not like you're too independent. Calm down. You know what I'm saying? Like you deserve it. Sometimes, both sides. I feel like I always say, everybody deserves love, right? Everybody deserves to be cared for. Everybody deserves to be pampered, both men and female. A man can be pampered. Maybe you come back from work and your woman is like, babe, lie down, let me massage you. Babe, what do you want to eat? Let me bring your meal to you. Instead of you having to go dish your food, that's pampering, right? The same way, as a woman too, sometimes you have the money. He knows you have the money. He knows you have you can take care of yourself. So sometimes relax and let him handle things, let him offer to pay for you and chill. You deserve
Yeah,
it.
some people are too independent these days. I'm going to be very blunt. I'm like, I get it. You're a boss, babe. Let me take care of you. Let me be needed in your life.
Right? Yeah, I think it's because I think a lot of people tend to also complain sometimes when they feel like the man is not acting manly in the house or he's not acting manly in the relationship. Sometimes it's that over independence too, like you make him feel like you can do a lot of things yourself. So it's like, what is the point? And he knows that because sometimes even if you know that you can do some things, just say, babe, can you, just ask, let him just, babe, can you just grab me that tea on your way from work? Be like, he is happy to buy it because he knows you can buy it. And you can present that to you and say, oh, he said, thank you, baby. You're so excited, you hug him, and it feels like, it feels special. I've seen videos where a woman can carry something and she'd be like, babe, can you help me carry it? And the guy is glad to carry it for her. And she's like, yeah, and it feels like a strong, powerful man. And you make him feel like he's special, right? So those little things matters, right?
Well, it gets into the idea that in a relationship, fundamentally, you want to feel wanted and needed. And again, I remember one of my girlfriends ages ago. She could open the jar of her pickles. She didn't need me. But every time she had that pickle jar, she'd be like, "Hey babe, can you open up that pickle jar for me?" Like, "Yeah, I can." And I'd go over there and open that pickle jar. And I felt like such a stud. Like, look at me helping out my girl. Like she was the damsel in distress, and here's her white knight coming to open her pickle jars.
Yeah. And I think that also start with the first date. It start from the beginning. If you go out on a date with this guy and you're all boasting about everything that you have, this is the kind of person I am. I'm a boss lady. I don't need anybody to take care of me. I'm just looking, at some point, like calm down. I think sometimes calm down, let him talk more. Like you're trying to know each other. So it's like it's not about me or boasting. Then you get the funniest that you now get this kind of guy and he's refusing to spend on you. He's refusing to do anything when you're angry. It's because of how you presented yourself to start with. If it's someone that is an opportunist, right? He's gonna be so happy to find you because like, oh yeah, look, I found the girl I'm going to, take everything from whatever. So and it comes with sometimes just let him and just chill and relax. Not that you cannot afford it, but just let someone take care of you sometimes and be okay to receive it because you deserving of it. Sometimes just take it easy and let someone take care of you. Let him buy gas sometimes for you. Can't you buy gas? You can. But it's just that I think for men, you guys feel powerful when you're able to do things like that, right?
Yeah. If I'm out there and I can buy your gas, if I can take you out, if I can pick you up and drop you off, like I feel good about myself because again, you're my princess. I'm the white knight. I'm here to protect you. I'm here to take care of you. And this kind of gets into this idea. So men love to give women gifts, but this
Mm,
is really important. So a gift is something I give to you without any strings attached. Like there's no strings. What you do with that gift is completely up to you. You can throw it in the garbage, you can give it to somebody else, or you could take it for yourself. However, if there are expectations attached to what I just gave you, that's not a gift, that's a transaction. And those are different.
yeah.
And I think a lot of people get stuck because the gifts that they're being given are transactions and not gifts. And there's a distinct difference.
Mm, mm. Yeah, I think I like that because one, what is the entitlement? Is not entitled to give you anything anyway, so it's giving you something out of his good, his kindness. And two, there are guys that would also give gifts because they're trying to get you to fall in love with them, and they're trying. It's always like they'll ask, so what's your love language? And be like, I love gifts, and they'll be like getting gifts, and then when he asks for something from you, you can't say no. Could be like, so when you're getting when you're taking those clothes and those gifts and what you're expecting. I've seen situations where, like back home, a lot of guys tend to entice women with money. So they will take you on shopping sprints. They will shop on you, buy you stuff, buy all these beautiful things, take you out to a fancy, nice restaurant, getaway, whatever. And they expect that when it is nighttime or whatever, and they ask you, you know, come over, or whatever, they expect you to not give an excuse. It's so crazy. A guy says something, and I looked at him. He's a mature guy, and he said with so much pride. He invited this girl to. He's based abroad. And invited this girl from Africa, like from a country in Africa, to come over. And I think when she came, she said, she was on a period or something like that, and it was so mad. And it was so frustrated, like it spent so much. I'm like, what the heck? Why didn't you ask her if she was on a period? Like, what is that stupid expectation? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like relationship has become something else now that you can't just do something out of goodwill. You can't just do something out of, you know what, I want to make this woman happy and spoil her. Then there's chances that she's, it may work or not work, but I should be fine and okay with that because it's more than just, you know, because those things happen, sex and all that, but it's more than that. It's more about the person, right?
It's
And
about
it's,
wanting to be with somebody.
yeah, it's sad though.
Well, and that kind of gets into this idea that if you're a woman who's on a date and you're meeting a man,
Mm-hmm,
he is throwing compliments at you and he's kind of lavishing you with gifts, almost love bombing at that point.
mm-hmm,
It's getting a little uncomfortable. Like, in my opinion, I think this is a giant warning sign that you have to get out of there. And I
mm-hmm,
would love to know from a woman's perspective how you would just extricate yourself from that situation. Because I feel like in those situations, it could end poorly for a woman, especially if this guy is expecting something from her.
mm-hmm.
And it's just, how do you remove yourself from that situation while keeping yourself safe?
That actually happened. I think now this is where wisdom comes in. This is where wisdom comes in. Because sometimes you do not want to be aggressive, you do not want to be, you know, you don't want to play. Okay, so a guy is, let's say you go up to a guy's house, and while you're at his house, maybe he's taking you on shopping experiences and stuff, and he's asking you for, you know, and you know that you do not want it, right? How can you get out of it? No. Wisdom. You can be pushed forward, pushing him away and cursing him or whatever, because you're in his space. He can lock the door, it can be crazy, it can pull out anything. So you are the person at risk here. So that's when you start thinking. It is very, now this is it. You play along. How do you play along? Now it's simple. You could say something like, "Oh, it's a bad this, but this is it works." You say, "Oh, baby, you know, I like you, and I can't wait to spend time with you. Like I can't wait to spend time with you, but hey, I need to go grab something quickly. I like to get drunk when, you know, we're doing this, you know, I like to get freaky and I like to drink. Can I quickly step out? There's just a store just behind your house. I can just step out and go grab something. You're playing along. He would believe you, right? And you get out and you run. But it is not a time to be arguing. It's not the time to be fighting. It's not the time to be resisting. It is the time to play around. In fact, you can go, you can touch his head, and you know, oh, you can go give him a kiss. And the most important thing, you want to save yourself. That is where wisdom comes in. You find a way, that's an example I gave, but find a way to go out in such a way that it would be the one to even open the door for you to go out, you know, and you run. So that's because you, and that's why I always advise people on the first date, even second date, some point, don't go to his house. Go to a public place. So if it doesn't work out, you can even call people to help you if it's becoming violent out. It won't even want to be violent outside, but people will be there to support you and protect you. But when you're in his space, now it's also actually a bad idea, but logic.
But it makes a lot of sense. So when I used to work on assertive community treatment, I would go to patients' homes. I'd be in their space to do either giving a medical injection or doing therapy with them. Well, not therapy, but working on some motivational interviewing and mental health stuff. And it could get dicey. It could get really dicey. And I have my own horror stories of my time in that working with those patients. And they said fundamentally, if you are in a situation that is unsafe, you have to get yourself out of there. Full stop.
Yeah.
It's not about their feelings. It's not about making them feel good. It's not about making them feel awful. It's about your safety. It's number one. And you have to do what you have to do to get out of there in one piece. And for me, that was always just redirection. You'd be like, and I even counted this when I met up with a girl on a first date, and she wanted to have sex with me, and
Mhm.
I did not want anything to do with her at all. And I just redirect, redirect, redirect. Oh, babe, why don't you come home back to my place? I'm like, I would love to, but not on the first date, another day. And she was aggressive. She was incredibly aggressive with me. And it was just redirect, redirect, redirect. I was like, no, I should not meet up with you.
Mhm.
And again, it's the idea. Don't go to their house on the first date. Like you really don't know who this person
Yeah.
is. I usually would wait till at least the second, probably the third date before I get to know them on a more personal or intimate level.
Mhm.
Because again, if I met you on Tinder, if I met you on Bumble, I have no idea who you are. You
Yeah.
could be a psychopath trying to lure me in.
Yeah, I agree because yeah, I agree. Especially on dating app, be careful. If you know someone, maybe they were your friends before, and they're funny, and you guys kind of moved into dating phase. You know them already. You probably know their house or whatever, so that's okay. But now, even when you're friend with someone and you're dating someone, it's two different things, right? So they're two different people. Like it's different. But still, it's more you know the person more compared to a random person because there's a lot of horror stories around online dating. Also, it's not just about online dating, really. Anybody can be crazy. You might meet someone in the bar or whatever, and they can be a crazy person. But the thing is, I always say, I think if I look at it, I think the best thing, if you talk to someone, okay, there's situations where maybe when you meet them, you went on the first date with them, but you talk often, like on the phone, FaceTime, in a span of 1 week, you might have known so much about them. But still, I would advise that at least on the third date, you can venture into, okay, let me know your place and all that. And but at least let it be, yeah, that means you've been consistently communicating with them and you're comfortable, but still be open to the risk of going to his place. It's risky. It's risky, so it's a 50-50, chance.
Absolutely, it's risky. And I've heard horror stories from some of my male clients about females that are predators. And one of the ones that actually blew my mind, and I heard this one quite early on, was a gentleman who said that he ended up going to a bar. He met a very lovely woman, and she offered to take him back to her place. And he was all for this. When he was in the car with her, however, he started to feel really weird and he was struggling to walk and he just wasn't feeling so good. And he ended up getting into her place and she had to leave for a minute. So he just went to the washroom. He's like, I'm not feeling good at all. And when he closed the door, he heard the woman come back and he heard another voice in the bedroom. And he says, I think I've been roofied. I think something's going on here. I'm not okay. And he stumbled out of the window and he barely made it out of the house before he ended up saying that he ended up collapsing out in the middle of the street and he woke up
Really?
with police officers. Like
Yes.
there are predators out there.
There are, and I always advise people that when you go out to the bar or to the club, it could even be an house party, try to take your drinks with you everywhere you go. Like, don't just, and that's why I don't even when someone says, can I get you a drink? And they go to the bar, like to the bar station, or what, I don't know what they call that. Go with them. Go with them and make sure that you see the drink, like you receive the drink from the bartender. Avoid leaving your drink to go to the washroom, all those things. Finish your drink before you go to the washroom. Don't leave it out exposed because it might not even be your date. It could be somebody, a random person that is trying to take advantage of you. So avoid situations like that.
I completely agree. Just keep an eye on that drink. Because again, men, we don't think about our safety as much, but
Mhm.
I have heard horror stories of men being drugged and it's not good.
Yeah, yeah. Um,
And so to kind of run off on that one, because it was reminding me of another horror story in my dating experience where I met a girl, we weren't vibing at all. And then towards the end of the date, she was expecting a lot more from me than I was willing to offer. Like she was looking at marriage, she was looking at a house,
on the
she
first date.
was Yeah, like it was she was very intense. We'll just put it at that. Um, and I think one of the mistakes that I ended up doing is after the date, I said, this is lovely. I'm just, not what I'm looking for. She ended up asking me, "Hey, what was it about me that didn't click?" And I decided to be honest with her. And she went off the rails on me, to the point that she was stalking me on social media platforms. She was messaging people on Facebook, messaging people on Instagram. And I was sitting there going, "Holy moly, I dodged a bullet, like,
Yep.
and a half." But it was one of the things, like, I think it's important that if a date goes wrong, you don't owe them anything.
Yep.
And it might not be in your best interest to be honest. And just to say, for example, with this woman, I think I should have said in retrospect, just to say, you know, eh, honestly, I'm just looking for something a little bit different. Keep it vague. Just keep it
Mhm.
vague. You'd be like, I'm just looking for something a little bit different right now. Is a lovely time. Um, you could sprinkle in the dreaded, we can be friends, but not actually friends, keeping that distance. Uh, but just, I think it's a lot of just protecting yourself if the
Mhm.
date's going wrong.
Yeah, yeah, I think so. Because some people, I think it's even weird when you say, "What do you think about?" Um, yeah, so I think being polite, like you said, just say it, like you said, generic response that they can't really pin it to anything. And like I would say, public places, please, public places is safe, even for the first thought date, because you're still getting to know each other. On the phone conversation, FaceTime conversation is different from in-person conversations. And that's why, because you're seeing their facial expression and all that. So that's why, I say go on 3 dates in person, and then transition into, okay, I want to know where you stay and all that. And I also like, and I would say even where you work. I know some people, they're like, this is where I work, you talk too much. And if you talk too much, I would say even make your, because where you work is what provides for you. So I keep your dates at least away from your early stage, away from where you work, because people are crazy. If they know where you live, they know where you work, they even know the church you go to or whatever your whereabouts, they can track you if they are toxic people. So keep some things private. And yeah, quick question: can you date someone for 10, like let's say a month or a few weeks and start falling in love with them?
I think you can. 'Cause I think love is just, it's a feeling. It's a feeling that you have, and it's ultimately a choice. Whether you stay in love with the individual, that's a good question. Or maybe the hormones are just pumping and you're feeling kind of lusty towards them. That's
Mhm.
a good question. I always question, if somebody's feeling love immediately, is this love that we're seeing, or is it something else? But I genuinely think, because I have heard of stories of individuals that fell in love at first sight. They're incredibly rare. Incredibly rare.
Do you think it's actually falling in love at first sight? It's like, because you could see the chemistry, you could see the person, and the person's like your dream physical appearance, like wise type of person, but you just like what you see. You can feel the spark when they touch you. You feel like, oh God, like it just melts into you, right? That is chemistry. It's not love. I feel like it's not love. All those love at first sight thing. Um, there are some people that you just know that this is my person. Like you guys just kind of vibe, your energy, kind of match. Everything, even everything matches. Yes, so that is, oh my gosh, there's something. It's not, I don't think it's love right away, but I feel like, yeah, you could fall in love with them quicker because, they're just your dream person. It's like, oh my God. And then you talk to them and like, oh my God, the physical, the everything, they're, everything about them matches with you. You can fall in love with them quicker. You can fall in love with them within a month, maybe, but Love at first sight.
I never want to rule it out. Because
Yeah, maybe it's true.
I'm like,
Right?
because I honestly believe nothing's really black and white. Like you could
Yeah,
be
yeah,
falling in love with them while also wanting to get into their pants. Like maybe the first time you see them, you're like, hot damn, this is a hot
yeah.
person. I
So
just
that's
want them so
lost.
bad. It's lust, but there's also like there might be a little bit of love of like, oh,
What's the love?
maybe
Where's love coming
maybe
from?
I like this person. And then over time the lust could go down, but the love could go up,
Mm.
as opposed to it has to all be love or it has to all be loved. I'm like, why can't it be both? Like,
Okay. I don't know. Yeah.
but I
Okay.
do know I knew some people, and this is why I say, I've never had love at first sight, but I have known some people that they meet the other person and say, "Oh, this is my person. Like I cannot see my life without this person. Like I love them and this is going to be amazing." And they go on to have a very happy marriage decade, 2 decades down the
Mhm.
road. And it's a long-term marriage. And so I can't be the one to sit here and say love at first sight doesn't exist. However, again, those stories are exceptionally rare, like exceptionally
Yeah.
rare.
There's a show called Love at First Sight, right? And there's this couple. They're still married to today, but when they met each other, like I said, I don't think it's love, but I think it's that intense chemistry. Like, and the love at first sight is they meet on the wedding day. They basically meet on the altar. No communication prior to that. And this guy met this girl, and it was like magical. Like it was intense, and they're still married and happy. Like you would know it's like this, like they're so close. And so that is it. So it's like it's just that chemistry, like, oh my god, that magical, some things you cannot explain because it's just like, oh my god, she's like my dream, right? The voice, everything about the person. But it's not love until you start getting to talk to them and knowing them. Now the love, the chemistry can develop so quick into love, effortlessly, you know, um, and it can go from there, right? But I think what they experienced was, some things are just magical and it's beautiful and you can't even explain it. But then as you now get to know them more, it's like, oh my gosh, this person is amazing. And that could, and those are always beautiful experiences, right? Because I've been in situations where when I was younger in high school and I could see a guy that I like, I'm like, oh, the guy is handsome. And by the time I sit with him and talk to him, I'm like, I don't even like him, you know? Because I'm more of an intellectual person. Like, if you could be very handsome and all, but if I sit down with you and I talk to you and you're not making any sense whatsoever, because I want to be challenged intellectually and grow and all that. And if you're just so lame, for me, I'm like, the love and the desire disappears. So some people are very visual people, like, they can fall in love just by looking at your physique and all that. So that it depends.
Well, this kind of reminds me of a woman, and I'm the same way. I need a little bit of brains behind that beauty. Like if you're not intellectually stimulating, it's not going to work like at all. And I remember somebody once said to me, they said I'm like sapiosexual, and I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa! Like, why are we putting labels on this? Why
Right?
can't it just be me?
Funny. Right? I think there's a name for it, right? But it's just the kind of person. Like, I can be talking to someone. I remember one time I was so bored. And I asked, I was bored in the house and I called my friend. And she's like, oh, girl, can you come and hang out with me? And, let's talk, let's watch a movie or whatever. And she came and she was so shallow. She was just talking about boys and just talking. Oh my God. You know what? I was so weak because it was such a waste of my time. And I felt like I wished I would have even gone to sleep or something. And that's the thing. So imagine dating someone that is that shallow, you know? It's some people like shallow people, some people are different, some people are very play is a balance, right? I'm balanced. Some people don't care about talk. They're not serious with themselves, even or life or whatever. There's always a match for somebody, you know. And she, if you're a serious person or you just like to play and you like to just joke around, you can find a guy like that, and you guys will match. You guys will just take life as it goes and enjoy life. Whatever, it's gonna work for you, but and that's the thing about, you could see someone and like, oh my god, he's so handsome. Oh, she's so beautiful. Then when you sit with them and talk to them, based on the kind of person that you are, you might not be like, oh, this spark may just, or it might increase. So it depends.
Well, we all have our needs and what we need out of a partner. And those needs are important to recognize. But it's also important to recognize that you're not for everybody. I am not for everybody. Trust me on that. I've
Yeah.
done a lot of dating. I've come to the understanding that the that I am is not for everybody. And
Mm-hmm.
that's okay. Because
That's
like,
okay.
one person's trash is another person's treasure.
Exactly.
And I remember, so there's this one gentleman, we'll call him Roger. Roger was not the brightest bulb in the bunch. He was a few fries short of a happy meal. He was a little slow. I'm just going to be brutally honest. He, but he was a very loyal, solid guy. He did his best. And he ended up finding a woman who was very intelligent, who was very successful, who valued him for who he was.
Yeah.
And he's happily married now. And honestly, if you had asked me, like, before he had met this woman, if he'd ever get married, I'd be like, I don't know. I don't think it could have worked. But he put himself out there. He went to the parties. He did his best to socialize, and he ended up finding his wife. And again, it just goes to show there is somebody there for you. The issue is meeting them.
Yeah. So there is, I love that. So everyone is worthy of love. I always say that, and that's why it's good to be very intentional when it comes to dating, because I know it can be very challenging when you feel like, oh, maybe nobody wants me on the dating app, or nobody wants me when I go out. Nobody's asking me out. Nobody's asking for my number. But the thing is, look at it like this. See, I feel like I've seen situations where you will see two friends and one they will go to the club together, and there's one that they're always talking to and chatting, and the other one is maybe one or two. But the thing is, what is the quality of the person? So it's the quality that matters. So a girl can have 50 guys talk to one in a party, at a party, and it could be a bunch of rubbish guys. You could have two or three and quality. So sometimes it might take you months, weeks, years to find the right person, but it's worth waiting for the right person. So, and take your time. And first date should be very. It's more like a way to know someone, not too deep. Get to know them, check their vibe, check their energy, those things, like see those connections, feel it, like sense those things, sense how they talk, how they react with their environment. That's what a first date is about. And after that, you can now start asking deeper questions because you want to get to know them further than that, and then see how it goes. And please, outdoor, not indoor, for your first, second, even third date. That's my opinion. What do you think?
Yeah,
We end
keep it in
it.
a public area for that first date, even for the second date, unless you know this person. Like, I've dated some people in my own friend group, in which case I know this person. I know who they are. I know what they're going to act like. Sure, I'll invite them over because they also know who I am. That's a different situation than going on Tinder and or Bumble and be like, I have no idea who this person is. I don't know if they're crazy. I don't know if they're sane. I don't know if they're the one or they're just another dud. Is keep it in a public area and have that plan of like, okay, if things go wrong, what are you going to do? What's the plan to get out of there?
Yeah.
I hope this video was helpful to you guys. If you found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and if you're struggling in your dating life, feel free to reach out to myself or Evelyn. Our information is down in the comments. And I'll leave the last words to you, Evelyn.
Yeah, so thank you everyone. So we would like to hear from you. What is that oral first date story? So leave that story in the comment section and we can't wait to read that. And please follow us, subscribe, share this video, and yeah, we would see you again next time.